This year in the UK, we are getting a plethora of brand new rides, from huge gyro swings to beyond vertical drop roller coasters to kiddie coasters. And one of those parks that is getting a kiddie coaster and an entire themed land with it is Chessington World of Adventures, as they get the World of Paw Patrol, with of course that kiddie coaster, some play areas and even 3 flat rides. This is a big area that is being built, and instead of going to the park to see some of the construction or just doing, I guess, something like that, I thought, why don't I recreate this entire area before it opens so we can properly go in and have a look around as if it is fully built. So join me today as I recreate the rides within the Paw Patrol land coming to Chessington and show you exactly what it'll be like when it opens. Be sure you watch till the end so you can see all of what I've created, and be sure to subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already, because this isn't going to be the only episode in this mini 2-part series. So if you haven't worked it out, obviously this is the first episode, so there'll be another episode where we finish the entire thing. So yeah, subscribe so you can stay tuned for that, otherwise you'll miss the finished product. But like I said in the intro, today we're building just the rides, and we're starting a brand new pre-creation of the World of Paw Patrol coming to Chessington World of Adventures. It's been so long, I feel. Well, it hasn't actually, because I think I did the bluey one like last month. Maybe it hasn't been that long, but it feels like it has been since I last did a recreation. I've been focusing so much on my own projects and sort of doing my own theme park that I'm building in this game as well. Of course, we're in Planet Coaster 2. If you haven't heard yet, I have moved house. Me and Em have bought a house, so obviously I've been very busy with that. But every single time it gets to this sort of winter period after the season's finished or just before the new season starts, I always build these pre-creations. Back in 2023 at the same park, Chessington, Jumanji, I pre-built all of that before it opened. Got it probably quite wrong, but there we go. I also built Nemesis Reborn Hyperia the year after. I think I might have done Toxicator in 2025, and then we have 2026, where I have been trying to do as much as I can. I built Poulton's Valguard ages ago with Dracon. I've now been building Bluey and Paw Patrol. I still need to build Evictus at Blackpool, so 1,000 likes and I'll do that. But that's kind of boring because that's just a gyro swing, and that's actually in the game, which actually you might be wondering, if you don't play Planet Coaster, what I'm doing right now. Obviously it'd be really easy to just place down all of these 3 flat rides that are in the Paw Patrol area. We've got a helicopter ride, a sort of bus, magic, what do they call it? It's not a magic bus. It's actually a flying carpet ride, which technically isn't true because it's a flying bus, but it is called a flying carpet. That's where I got confused. Either way, so we got that as well in the form of that bus. We've then got a brand new Sierra Drift flat ride that's in the sort of right hand side of the area, which we'll get onto. And of course at the back we have the main coaster, which is a Sierra family coaster. So there's a lot going on, and if you were to look at the game and look at all the different rides that are in the game, the only one that is the coaster. And obviously with the coasters you have to build the layouts yourself. So either way, that's custom. None of these flat rides are actually in the game, so I've had to custom make all of them. So as you can see, to make the little helicopters, I've been using the front half of a tuk-tuk and then having to build the back half and make these like propellers that we're going to go on to do. And these are all going to spin around this platform and sort of rise up and go back down again, which is what the Paw Patrol ride does. And if you don't know what the actual Paw Patrol rides are, the roller coaster is called Chase's Mountain Mission, and that's literally just going to be based on a character called Chase. And I think it's based on another one called Everest as well, which I got confused by and thought it meant Mount Everest because the theming was very icy and snowy. Either way, you've then got this one here, which is Sky's Helicopter Heroes. So, of course, based on another character in the, I was about to call it a game, in the franchise Paw Patrol. And you're going to have these helicopters flying around. If you've ever seen Harold's helicopters at Drayton Manor in the Thomas Land area, it's basically that, which is really cool, making the propellers there as they go up and down. And yeah, so basically with the game, I've actually had to make them using different rotational pieces and up and down pieces, and it's a lot more complicated than it looks. It was very difficult to get right. I have cut quite a lot of it out just to make it easier viewing, because it was really annoying at one point just wouldn't work in my favor. You might see it actually, it does actually go way above when it's going up and down, go way above the tower itself and just starts flying off. It's quite funny. But there you go, placing down all those helicopters now, just around here. And this is the first of 4 rides in this area that we're going to build. Yeah, insane. This area is going to be very different for Chessington, but extremely exciting because I am actually intrigued to see how much popularity this area will have. Paw Patrol, it seems like it's a dying brand? No, what's the word? IP. Seems like a dying IP that's not really relevant too much anymore, but at the same time it seems massive. So I am very, very intrigued to see how this does for Chessington, and hopefully it does well for them, because obviously we want to see that for our UK theme parks. But as you can see, I have skipped the boring parts because it took me so long to get it properly working. As you can see, there it is, spinning round very slowly, as it will in real life, with the main rotor blades of all the helicopters going. And there you go, it goes up, reaches about there, and then my version comes straight back down. But in real life, it will go up there, spin round for a good minute or so, hopefully, and then come back down afterwards. But yeah, that's the only way I can make it work in this. It looks a bit like a shot and drop tower. It's quite funny. But either way, as you can see, we've moved on to the next ride, and this is the Sierra Drift ride, the brand new concept from Sierra, which I really do love that we're getting one in the UK. I think it's a brand new concept anyway. I'm probably wrong about that. And as you can see, the footprint of the ride, way bigger than the helicopter ride itself, because we've just sort of duplicated that across and made it bigger. So it's a lot larger of a footprint, and that is because, as it says on the tin, this ride is going to drift out from its sort of spinning motion when you are riding it. So that has to have a larger footprint, so you can do that. And you're going to be in some hovercrafts, which this ride is called Zumas Hovercraft Adventure, and it's got a lighthouse in the centre, which means it's the second ride at Chessington to have a flat ride with a lighthouse in the centre of it, whilst the ride itself spins beneath. Because the other one is Barrel Bailout, where you spin around a lighthouse and it shoots out water at you. And this is the exact same without the water, and you're drifting on these hovercrafts instead. Quite funny. It reminds me a lot of the coincidental 3 granny-themed rides at Alton Towers, because I don't think they planned that. And I don't think they plan to build 2 lighthouse-themed rides in this park. Might be a third for all I know. Chessington World of Lighthouses. That's what I'm calling this park now. But yeah, Zumas Hovercraft Adventure right here going in. I built that lighthouse now, just putting a little pole on the top. And then we will start building the ride system at the bottom. So yeah, this is basically going to have, in a way, just a literal spinning... what's the word for it? Just a rotary spinning platform at the bottom with loads of these sort of girders sticking out that are attached to these hovercrafts, and they've got wheels on them, as you can see there, so they can run along nice and smoothly. And the hovercrafts will be attached to these behind them, so then I guess maybe you'll click a button whilst you're riding, or maybe it'll do it automatically. When you hit certain parts of the ride, you will be able to drift out towards the fencing, and it's a really fun sensation, especially on the like old American whip style rides. So hopefully it's just as fun on this as well as I build the hovercraft. There you go, using some of the aquatic theming to make that possible. Look at that. Wow. So it looks nothing like a hovercraft right now, but once I put the blades in at the back and everything, you'll be able to see it as I try and line that up. Yeah, it's just really nice doing another pre-creation, especially this one, because I probably talked about it earlier, but the amount of stuff we have on this compared to like the Bluey ride and everything like that, we have so many different like plans and everything for this area. We also have seen loads of it go up. We can see all the theming. They're trying to hide it with these really tall construction walls, but they just can't, because some of us are too tall and can look over it. So I definitely can't look over those walls. It's a ridiculous height. I have to stretch so far to actually get my camera up. But yeah, they've been trying to hide it. They haven't managed, as always, so we've been able to see what's going on, and I've been able to create this pre-creation for you today through that. So here we go. I've used a chain to attach that, and now we're going to build the drifting mechanism in there. This was a lot of fun to actually get correct. Really easy as well. As you can see, it literally just slides that way. Very nice. and all of them are going to do that. I actually replaced that sort of iron girder bit, the sort of light grey bit. There you go. I've just replaced it literally as I'm saying that because it looked really odd. And just done the chain, and yeah, going to duplicate that all around the ride. This ride does look really good when it's running. I'm going to try and have them all running when we go into real time later on, just so you can see what they're all doing. And yeah, I think the lighthouse might be a little bit too tall, but we can go and rectify that later down the line. I didn't realise how tall I'd actually made it, because I think it's taller than the helicopter ride itself, which is probably not a good thing. So I need to sort that out as I build the rest of that. And then put the rotation disc in for the entire ride itself as that spins around that green bit at the bottom. Look at that, going around. So fun. And then yeah, just making sure that they all go on a sequence occasionally outwards. They don't all just go out at the same time, you know, that would look really strange. So I thought it would be really nice to have them all go out separately. Because again, if there is a button on there that you do click for that, then that's how it's going to work. You're going to see these individual hovercraft swing out whenever they want, and there you go, that's it in action in full real time. Look at it go. It looks really weird and like they're going to hit into things, but they don't, and that is really nice. As we move on to the final flat ride, Chases. Nope, this is not Chases. I got that wrong. This is Marshall's Fire Truck Rescue. So as you can see, using again the pieces within the game, just because building this entire carcass of a bus, or I kept calling it a bus, didn't I? It's a fire truck. Building an entire sort of chassis and everything of that will take so long, and considering this might not even be accurate in the end, I've just decided to use that bus that's in the game. And I know you can't see that you're going to be riding it or anything, but you won't be able to POV it anyway, because I've had to make this one as well out of rotational pieces. So the other two, we can't POV them because they're just not in the game, and you can only POV things that have been made in the game. We've had to make it ourselves with those pieces, so we can't. This is the same, and this was a lot more complicated, I would say, because obviously when you are using a rotational piece, the bits will spin round and flip, meaning if I put that bus on one of these things, it will just do a loop. And I don't think that would be a ride you would see in a Paw Patrol area. I don't think it would just do a full 360 loop and go upside down. Although they did build Mandrill Mayhem, which is a kids area. Well, Jumanji's a kids area, and that's a kids family ride technically, and that goes upside down. So maybe it would go upside down. Maybe Marshall's Fire Truck Rescue, you're actually trying to rescue yourselves from going upside down. I don't know. But as you can see, I've got those arms in the background spinning. And then we're going to attach the bus to that. You'll see it sort of nosedive in a minute. It's quite funny. But yeah, it's a lot nicer. I know I spoke about it. There you go. It's just nosedived into the ground. That's fantastic. But yeah, I spoke about it before, but it's just refreshing to build something that has so many plans. There it goes, spinning upside down. But being able to see all these plans and know exactly where things are going to be and comparing them to real life construction images makes it so much easier to build. And with the second episode, when I do that over the next couple of weeks, there it goes. Back to normal now. That's how it's going to look in real life. I can actually build all the theming that's actually going to be there in real life. The reason I haven't done another Bluey one is because we don't know what theming there's going to be. And they haven't even themed the station yet. We just know the front car of the train. That's about it. So hopefully that gets some more theming announcements soon. And yeah, we've managed to see quite a lot of it in the Paw Patrol area as Marshall's fire truck goes round and round. And there we go. Those are the 3 flat rides done. And we're going to move on to the main coaster. Sadly, replacing Scorpion Express. I used to absolutely love that ride as a kid when it was sort of the old runaway mine train or whatever it was called back then. And it looked a lot like Big Thunder Mountain, which is where John Wardley got that sort of inspiration from. I loved that ride, and I loved Scorpion Express. Sad to see it gone, but Chessington is moving in a different direction, and this is Chase's Mountain Mission, and we're going to be making that layout. Best thing about this one as well, even though there's so much concept art, so many different layout plans, it's basically a mirror clone of Farmyard Flyer at Poulton's Park. So when I got down this drop and realised, what way does that cross over? I just thought, I'm going to watch a Farmyard Flyer POV, and that was enough to tell me how this layout works. And it's just a great insight, really, because obviously when you do recreations of real things, yes, it is equally as hard. It's very difficult to do real recreations. Haven't done one in ages, so maybe I'll come back to that at some point. But trying to build off of like concept art and stuff is even more difficult because you don't actually know what it's going to look like. I'm building Universal Studios United Kingdom at the moment in this game as well. Go and check that out if you want. I'm trying to build it from one singular concept art that I can guarantee you will get announced in a few years' time to have completely changed, and that whole project will be pointless. So I'm excited for that as we go into the final turn on the ride. A very short coaster. Not too sure if it's going to do 2 laps or not. I would hope so. And it will have a longer train, I hope, than the one that I've built, because this game, once again, you can't have the trains go right up until the end of the station on either side. So I reckon it'll have a similar throughput to Farmyard Flyer at Poulton's. But there you go. There's the train. Yeah, add on an extra 3 cars on that probably, and that's your train length for this ride. And there it goes down the drop. Again, not the fastest ride. I know we're in a bit like faster speed right now for this time lapse, so it might look like a really fast ride. I can assure you it's not. But it's good for the demographic it's aiming for. It's sort of that, you know, my first roller coaster type coaster, I think they said it was going to be. And they've definitely gone and made one that is. So yeah, very nice. Colouring the train black. I don't theme the train in this episode, but I definitely will in the next one, because that's going to be some sort of like police car-esque train. That'll look really nice as it goes round those final times. Yeah, just trying to get the speed right, looking at that. And there you go. All these different rides and all these different queue lines that are going to go with it. So I decided, because obviously that roller coaster was so easy to build, it took me about, I want to say, not even 15 minutes to build that coaster layout. As you can see, decided to just start making some ride area fencing. And I thought that'd be quite nice to start adding in before we theme it all in the next episode. And yeah, I like I said, I do love these little pre-creations, you know. It gives a nice break from other projects and stuff. And I can actually just build a recreation before it's even happened and still get that satisfying end to it where I'm like, oh, okay, I actually got this and that right, or I got this wrong, or oh, the lighthouse is a bit too tall, you know, like stuff like that. It's just really nice. And I'm hoping at some point I want to go back to those recreations, and yeah, I hopefully will one day. But there you go. And then we'll put some ride area fencing in for the helicopter ride as well. And I do need to move this out a little bit just because it is quite close to the helicopters, so I don't know how that'll work with sort of walking around and getting in the helicopters. So I've moved that out a little bit since this time lapse as I work that all the way around there. Yeah, it's going to be a nice area. The theming right now is very plasticky. That's kind of the goal they're going for, I think. So I don't really blame them for that. And we'll see the area develop and hopefully get an opening date soon, because the day of recording this, Bluey has got his opening date. So why can't this? As we head into real time. And here we are then in real time. This is very strange for me because I'm used to like entering in through some pathways, or maybe just sort of like having a bird's eye view and there being loads done, but I feel like in this there's just barely done. But it's because the ride systems take quite a while, because I have curated all of these ride systems myself through various different rotational pieces and everything. And there you go. There they are. This is the Sierra Drift Zumas Hovercraft Adventure. I don't really know what adventure you're going on, just spinning around in a circle. But if we do go to ground level, as you can see, they're spinning around there, and then occasionally they will drift out. And it does look like a lot of fun, to be fair. Maybe there'll be some water effects or something, or like some sound effects, I don't know. Either way, I'm sure that'll be a great ride, and I'm sure the lighthouse needs to go down in height, because that's not realistic. If you are a long-term visitor of Chessington, you might recognise this ride system. Of course, we built it earlier. This is the Flying Carpet, which used to be Jungle Bus over in Wild Asia, that's now being turned into Minecraft Land, which I will be building a full area of down the line, so subscribe so you don't miss that. And yeah, there you go. There is the bus going round and round. Whoa. It's a lot slower. I think it could go faster. This is how I think they will run it when they run it in real life. There you go, just a slow-paced round and round. And yeah, very glad I managed to get that working with the sort of rotational pieces, because at first, like you saw, it just nosedived into the ground. Still a few things to fix from that and hide, but we can do that when we get into theming it all in the next episode, as I head over to the first ride that we built, which was the helicopter ride that we built. And as you can see, it's going to go up, spinning round. So in real life, it will stop up around this point at the highest point and spin round for quite a while, but in this game I just can't do that. Nice little up and down ride, spinning round at the same time. Yeah, good for all the family, these rides, I think, including of course Chase's mountain mission. He's not scaling Everest, okay? Well, I don't think he could at the speed that this coaster goes. As you can see, we ascend the lift hill. I'll send it around on a test run and then we'll POV it quickly, and then it drops down after a flat little turn round into a nice helix. Very simple there. As we go under the track into a little twisted airtime hill, another airtime hill, turning, going under the ground apparently, and then back into the station for lap number 2, which we're going to hop on for. And here we go, up the lift, little straight section there, not the tallest ride whatsoever. And then we head down. Hey, look at that. Beautiful stuff. Down into the ground. Obviously that doesn't happen in real life, I'd hope. And then we go round again, into the brakes and into the station after that second lap. And yeah, you can see on the plans exactly where these do fit in. If you do want to actually see where it fits into like Mexicana and stuff, that is the path past Rattlesnake. And I believe you'll enter the area through this pathway here, and you'll be able to work your way down to the main sort of play area, which is going to have that huge Paw Patrol tower. And out to the right, there's going to be some big retail and dining, I think, over there. And then obviously Jungle Bus 2.0, the Hovercraft Adventure, and you can exit out over there as well, it seems, which is really good. But yeah, all the pink dotted lines and the blue dotted lines are all the exit and entrance queue line pathways, various benches, play areas, trees, theming pieces, all still need to go in. And like I've been saying, I will do that in the next episode coming very soon, so be sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. And this isn't only what I do on this channel, I also do visit these parks when they do open their rides. So if you do want to see a full vlog from this area when it does open, then also stay tuned for that, I guess. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next episode or on another video. Until then, bye bye.